A big hello and a warm welcome to all of you amazing and beautiful people out there. Welcome to my channel. Before I enter this video, I want to thank the first 5 subscribers of this channel who resonate so much with the sound, the Bij Mantra Ram, the most powerful mantra in the entire existence. In this particular video, I'm going to talk about what happens when your solar plexus chakra, the Manipur chakra, which is also translated into City of Jewels in English, when it gets healed, activated and unblocked, what all happens. The first and foremost thing that changes, or that is something that happens for sure, is removal of vices. Like, people have so many vices, we all do. But chanting the Ram Nam Mantra, even the person, like I feel, when an ascended master or when a good teacher also who has chanted this sound a lot, they have practiced a lot with the third eye, with the Ajna chakra. If you even approach them, some kind of divine intervention happens, you find the right teacher, you find the right master, these vices will get impacted. But when a person, either they have to really practice a lot or they have to have a lot of faith in their master, the process of surrendering is very, very important. And Ram Nam Bij Mantra, Maha Mantra, is very capable, it's very powerful, it's very potent to get people out of their vices and addictions. When I say vices, I also mean addictions. I've never come across any other mantra, or neither have I studied in detail. When you study about solar plexus, the mantra itself, this is one mantra which everyone has mentioned, be it Kabir ji, be it Rahim ji, be it Meera, my own masters, all my 3 masters. They've always mentioned this, that a person, any person, there's no judgment in this, can have a moral fault or a weakness. There's a weakness in someone's character. Character also means charitra. Character is not just one thing. That's because in the modern day English language is a global language, but there are so many words that it doesn't fully explain. Someone's charitra, someone's character. You can have faults in that. Greed, pride, envy, lust. These are all vices. Too much attachment to something, gluttony, sins. There are 7 sins. Pride, arrogance, wrath, sloth, being very lazy, not having some kind of proper routine in life, eating unnecessary junk food. Everything we do in life, actually externally, is a mirror of who we are internally. So it gives you that kind of connection with yourself. It creates a bridge. The more you practice, and the best way to practice this is with the help of third eye, with the help of Ajna chakra, also known as Gyan chakra. Your pineal gland is so important. I always say that this is the place where God is in your body. If you have to actually say, where is God? How can I communicate with God? Then pineal gland is the place. That's why we have the place in our forehead, in our head, which is called as temple. So in the temple, you have the place where God resides. But obviously people don't know how to talk to God. People don't know the right way to talk to God. People don't practice it at all. Again, as I said, no judgment on anyone. But there's one thing which is very important, is surrender. Surrender to who? Surrender to good company. Surrender to source. Surrender to continuous remembrance of source. That obviously you can do via the pineal gland. What do you need to say to the pineal gland? The more you say the Ram Nam Maha Mantra, the Bij Mantra, the more it works better, because both are connected. The intuition, the third eye and the gut, they have a direct connection with each other. So the connection works really well. Gut is also connected to pineal gland because of melatonin. Melatonin is what makes us sleep and wake up, particularly at night time. Some people, because of the way people live nowadays, lifestyle, I won't say some, actually many people, they're not able to control their sleep cycle, or even the feeling you get when you don't sleep enough. There's no such thing as not sleeping enough. There are so many people, so many babies who don't sleep so much because they're so curious, they're so full of joy. But melatonin is present in the gastrointestinal tissues, in the tract. Now, it's 400 times more in the gut than in the pineal gland. But pineal gland also uses it. So I think, my opinion is that pineal gland takes it from there, kind of taking how much it needs from there. If you look at what the scientific study says, then pineal gland is a small gland in the center of the brain which secretes melatonin. Melatonin plays a very important role in the circadian rhythms or the body clock. It also affects bone metabolism, mental health, and other aspects of health. Now imagine that this melatonin is present in the pineal gland. That's where it gets secreted. But it's found in your gut a lot more in proportion than even it's found in the pineal gland. Isn't that interesting? In Ramayana, Lakshmanji, who is the brother of Lord Sri Ram, does not sleep for 14 years. I'm not talking about 14 days, weeks, or months. I'm talking about 14 years. He does not sleep for 14 years. Of course, he knew something and he was doing something right, which is connected with pineal gland. Now, interestingly, Lakshmanji was the closest to Sri Ram. In his mind, he was constantly chanting Rama, even when he was a baby. Now, if we read the scriptures, then Lakshman is actually Sheshnag, and Sheshnag is Vishnu's closest animal companion. Sheshnag is always with Vishnu. Vishnu even sleeps on Sheshnag, who can create like a bed sort of space where Lakshmi, Vishnu, they all sit and relax. Sheshnag doesn't leave Vishnu ever. So when Vishnu reincarnates as Ram in Treta, Sheshnag has to go with him. And it is said when Lakshman leaves his body, actually he never leaves his body, he goes directly to Vaikuntha with his body. Right after that, Ram also goes back to Vaikuntha to become Vishnu again. Now, this is obviously not scientific, this is metaphysical, and this is also about your devotion and faith. But the chant, the Ram Nam chant, the remembrance of Ram, the remembrance of just the sound, the word, is more than enough to create such mystical and magical experiences in your life. For me as a person, I also had a lot of vices. This is my personal thing. I had so many vices, I still do. But I have seen how one by one, the major addictions, they just started disappearing. Obviously, as a child, I was chanting it a lot. But when you go to college, when you meet friends, when you make new friends, and I always say this, that school and colleges are the platforms where children can actually get into bad company. Especially if you're a twin flame, a starseed, you're a light worker, you are obviously born in families which has some kind of karma that needs to be healed. It's a generational curse. So definitely gonna go out of your house, meet people. In the end, nothing is wrong. If it takes you to your ascension, if it takes you eventually to something good in life, then it's great. Now, in today's time and age, I personally know of a lot of people who are in ascension journey. They get troubled very fast. They get anxious very fast. When it comes to doing inner work, they want fast results, which is why they do not enjoy their journey. They want to ascend in one day. They do not do sometimes when the assignments are given, they do not do it in a proper way, like how you're supposed to enjoy it. And this is also one of the biggest life lessons, to enjoy everything, how it comes, not to judge it as good and bad right away. Because you don't know, something that you call bad today, something that is triggering you, something that is troubling you, making you feel low, could actually lead to something wonderful and profound in the future. So first and foremost, in this journey, when you're working on your solar plexus chakra, you got to understand one thing, that you have to actually let go of judgments and preconceived notions. In a day, in a week, in a month, there could be something which you look at and you feel that this is not happening in a good way in my life. I mean, this is not something that's good. This is not something that should happen to me. With the Ram chant, the interesting thing is that people with their experiences slowly and gradually realize that whatever is happening in their life, they just need to watch it, they need to observe it. So they become good observers with time, because sometimes it happens, and it has happened with me also. I can give you this example. Sometimes I've cried a lot about something, like I've cried so much, I've howled and cried, and after 5 days, 10 days, and sometimes on the same day, something else happens which is like opposite of it, and I realize that all of that crying actually released some space. Or it's also like when finally that thing gets resolved, there's a kind of embarrassment in you that, oh my god, I was crying so much, or I was saying all these words, or I was assuming all of the negative things. Sometimes you're talking to people in the text message or on the phone, they could be saying something nice to us, but we misread it, we misunderstand it. Why? Because internally we have triggers, internally we have blocks. So our instant response to towards that incident, that event, that word, that talk, that text, whatever it is negative. Because of the Ram Nam chant, the Ram sound, continuous remembrance and repetition, we start becoming more and more open and aware about these kind of activities, where we can actually feel better by ourselves by not overthinking, by not doing negative assumptions. You would be very surprised to find out that some of the drugs actually include, when I say drugs, I mean recreational and even prescription drugs. They actually alter the function of the pineal gland and change the melatonin secretion pattern. And which is why I tell people to just be very careful of what you're consuming and what you're taking, whether it's a prescription drug or whether it's for recreation. The more you stick to natural things, the better it is. But even for natural things, there has to be some limit. It's okay you do something once or twice, but I've come across people on psilocybin cubensis, which is magic mushrooms. They enjoy it so much, or the experience is so interesting because it kind of connects you to the sacred geometry in the nature around you, which otherwise is not visible to your eyes, but after consumption of these things, it becomes visible. So they become too dependent on it, and then there is a lot of crying and bad trips and negativity. They're not changing in the real world. It's like it's an escapism. This happens a lot with people who are also on cannabis. They tell me I feel this way or I feel that way, which is great. If you're going through depression, or if there's some problem, genuine problem, you're not able to eat, or you have some kind of hunger issues. Cancer patients actually eat after it. But if it's a really strong emotional pattern or problem, then sometimes it doesn't help. It helps to a certain degree, but not always, because it starts affecting the pineal gland, which is again connected to the gut. Gut is intuition. Gut is intuition. Gut is your connection to the world. Gut is your connection to the samsara. And how you deal with samsara, you can do it by observation. You can do it by watching your own vices. Whether it's a behavioral vice, whether it's an emotional vice, whether it's a mental vice, or it's a physical vice. You can watch it so closely, and step by step you let it go. And there comes a point you never go back to it. Like, even if that thing is kept in front of you in abundance, even if you have the best quality of that vice, as I said, physical vice also. Maybe somebody has a sexual addiction, and when they see a certain type of person, they go like on their own, they get seduced. But with the Ram Nam chant, the Ram sound, continuous repetition, they realize why they feel that way. What is it that leads them to feeling that way? What is the codependency in that vice, or in that attachment, or in that feeling that, it's a craving, it controls you. You can see that better. So I'm going to continue this video in part 2, and I will see you in the next video. You can contribute to this channel via PayPal. It's not monetized, and you can contribute still. I'm sharing the UPI code the PayPal link and the Patreon link. And because it's a new channel, you might not be able to click to the links. So you can always go to my primary channel, or you can check out my blogs. You can also email to me to get the details. You can ask me questions. You can put your questions in the comment section, and I will pick up the best questions and try to answer them in the most honest way that I can. Also, solar plexus chakra therapy for that matter, chakra alignment therapy, any of the therapies I do for that matter. These therapies are not for people who don't want to do inner work. And I want to say this right away. If anybody comes to me for therapy, they should be ready for therapy. They should be in the surrendering process. And let me tell you, you have to be careful about surrender. After the runner-chaser dynamic, and sometimes in between the runner-chaser dynamic, there is a separation phase. Sometimes people think that long separation phase is probably surrender, but that may not be surrender. Surrender happens when you have made your choice. You have chosen to be in the spiritualistic reality, in the 5D world. Whether you have reached there or not, that doesn't matter. But the choice is very clear. And then after that, no matter who gives you what bait, or you can say praloban in Hindi. I've made this channel for a global audience. In case you don't understand any Sanskrit or Hindi word, please feel free to write that down also in the comment section, and I would love to explain it to you. So if anyone gives you any type of offer, you would be not 20-30%, but you would be 100% clear that you don't want that offer. And that also means that anybody who wants to be in the ascension journey truly wants to be in the ascension journey, and they don't play mind games with anybody. Like, they're very honest people. They don't practice anything which is immoral. They're very moralistic people. Moralistic people who have gone through a lot in life, because in the 3D reality, moralistic people are not appreciated. 4D above, 5D, even in 3D, there are, you can say, a number of people who are in the purgatory, or who are there to clean up the place, or who are there to clean up the karma. Those people like morality. They are moralistic people. They have values. Those people appreciate such people who are like them. But when we don't know ourselves that well, we don't recognize who we are. We have not done that work. The only real work actually that we are all here to do is to find out who we are. And in that journey, sometimes we are tested. Sometimes we have to go through situations which may seem very difficult at that point in time, which is also what I just discussed in this video. There will be times when you'll think that something bad is happening to you, but you have to stick to your choice. And I don't even need to say this, because moralistic people always stick to the right thing. They are not selfish. And that's why they are better than the narcissistic people also, because narcissistic people do not understand right and wrong based on humanity or moral grounds. They understand right and wrong only in a materialistic standpoint or desire standpoint. For example, somebody would walk up to me and tell me that I want to be in 5D, or I want to do only inner work, and I don't want anything, I don't want any desires, nothing. But something happens, a desire is popped up, and they are willing to let go of the most important responsibility, maybe the child. There are so many mothers and fathers who let go of their children because their desire, materialistic desire, is coming to fruition. They will actually sacrifice their child's happiness or their responsibility just because they feel that the materialistic desire is going to get fulfilled. These are not moralistic people. They can play with your mind. Sometimes they use multiple tools like covert narcissism or sweet talks, or pretending to be a spiritualist, pretending to be a devotional person and whatnot. But as soon as they are tested, they are the first ones to run for a desire, to get the materialistic wish fulfillment done. One more example, I'll give it to you. There's this girl I knew. She was an animal lover, okay, and she had rescued a couple of animals. In fact, I felt that most of the rescues were actually just for um, showing off to other people what a great human being she is. As soon as she got a good offer, a job offer to move to a foreign country where she would make good money, and she would also be able to live with the man of her dreams, whom she had also left behind once upon a time to marry another person who was materialistically better. But later on, she felt like, oh, this is not so much fun. I need to go back to my person who loved me a lot. You know, the typical game that narcissistic people play. Followed by taking up this job offer and actually leaving behind all of those animals, literally leaving them behind. Some of them were actually, I'm sure, happy to be free from her jail, because she had literally made sort of a jail of animals. And when I saw the condition of the animals, I was actually like sad for a few days, because she doesn't let go of the animals. But when she had to get a fancy job, huge salary, that kind of freedom, everything materialistic basically was coming to her way, she took it all without blinking or batting the eyelid even once. So there you go. Fake spiritualist people do not have morality, and they don't live up to their commitment. They say a lot of big words, a lot of things. They say a lot of things just to sound like a good human being. And sometimes, they actually choose people. They will choose someone who has a very soft heart. They know that this is a really good person. They will choose that person. They will take that person's attention. They will love bomb that person. And when I say love bomb, it's not always in a romantic relationship scenario. Love bombing can happen in platonic relationships, friendships, anywhere. After all of the love bombing and making sure that now this person has kept me in their mind. Please remember, it's all about mind. They play these mind games, okay? And I've worked with a huge number of people. I've done so many readings, like uncountable readings so far. And even as a corporate trainer, I started my career really young. One of my initial jobs was to be a corporate trainer. I worked as a corporate trainer, and I trained people all over the country. I've trained many people. And at that time, obviously, nobody knew about my healing abilities or my intuition. I kept it like I never talked about it, to be honest. I was in typical materialistic reality 3D world where I myself did not want to confront with these thoughts, these spiritualistic thoughts. But when I was meeting people, that was the time I used to meet a lot of people every single day. When I met people, I learned a lot about people. I studied them. They did not know I was studying them in a different way. I was studying them energetically also. And I saw that this world is actually really strange and funny. Because a lot of people think the illusion is real. And they do so much to get that illusion. But it's literally like holding sand in your hand. So all these people who choose the materialistic desires actually get nothing eventually. And sometimes when these people try to take space in other people's mind, because they know, even if I'll break their heart, even if I'll make them feel guilty and pathetic, they'll think that I did not recognize this person. Then also they're going to think about me, they're going to get angry, upset and whatnot. Still, I will get space in their mind. And to get space in the mind of any high vibrational person means a lot of energy. Not only it's my intention to be a vibrational match, to make this content as a vibrational match to people who understand all of this, but I also have a gut feeling, and I know that some of the people who are going to get attracted to this content, not only would they be surprised to hear all of these very detailed nuances, but I would also, and I'm already feeling quite glad if people understand this, because these are really very deep things that I'm sharing, and they come in the ascension journey at the stage of illumination. So you can say surrender, harmonization, illumination. Surrender, harmonization, illumination. It's like a cycle. People reach surrender. I don't think everybody can reach surrender, but people who reach surrender, they understand a lot of these things. So solar plexus chakra is basically also the chakra of the samsara. So where did Vishnu actually create? From which part of his body did he create earth? Like, where did it come from? The lotus came from his navel, and from that navel came Brahma, and then Brahma created everything. He is the creator. So navel is that important. Navel is everything. People who understand navel, even in health, even in digestion, and digestion is literally connected not only with our physical system, but it's also connected with our mental system. People who cannot digest food, or people who have many stomach issues, usually cannot digest a lot of ideas, pure ideas, because they're so heavily programmed. So a person who has got good intuition is also fighting against all of these negative notions. Sometimes they cannot digest that, yeah, I can be free person, I can be liberated, I can be enlightened, I can be healthy, I can be happy, I can be this, I can be that, or I am that. They are not able to digest it. It's hard for them to digest it, so they develop a lot of stomach related issues. People, when they have confidence related issues, they have this problem of navel dislocation. For some people, it is a very common problem. They keep going through it every now and then, and it's really painful also. There are so many ways of healing it physically, but because I have been doing this work for so long, I figured out that it's all mental. And it is connected with things that you cannot even imagine what it's connected with. But everyone needs to do the right type of inner work. And the right type of inner work is connected with your solar plexus. We don't say that leave the world. We don't say become a sannyasi, renounce everything. We don't say that, because that's not how the solar plexus healing, activation, how it works is very interesting actually. So it heightens your motivation and willpower. It heightens your confidence and personal power. A balanced Manipur chakra gives a person a strong sense of self-esteem and empowerment. You feel empowered. And then it also gives you clarity that the things you're doing, whatever goals you have, tasks you have, you want to make money, or you want to generate resources, you want to create a following, or you want to do whatever XYZ thing, you will ask questions. Do I really need it? Say you want to buy a big house, you want to buy a mansion, you want to buy 10 cars. That's a materialistic goal, right? But when you have real confidence, you have personal power, you'll actually question, why do you need those 10 cars? And if you actually have a very genuine reason for those 10 cars, universe is going to give it to you. Sometimes people are also drawn to solar plexus work when they have done previous life penance or tapas, and they want to continue that tapasya. They want to finish it, they want to complete it, the cycle of reincarnation, because in their past life, maybe due to materialism or maybe due to some other social influences, they were not able to do it. So in this life they want to do it, and now is a very favorable time for this type of inner work, because it's the age of ascension. A lot of these people who displayed good character, very strict rules, but at the same time really opposing or very ironical behavior patterns, like two people living in one body, a split personality case, classic case, where you have good habits, bad habits combo together. The person is very gentle and very kind, but at the same time the person has some very negative quality that kind of makes you question if their gentleness and kindness is really there or it's just a facade. How I shared the example of this king. He's a strict vegetarian. He doesn't allow leather, but he goes for hunting sprees. He is, buying fancy cars just to make a point that just because someone is casually dressed or someone is a simple man doesn't mean he's not rich. But at the same time, he's using these materialistic things, these objects, as a means of social status. A person who is doing inner work via the solar plexus and third eye, this type of person will not only become non-materialistic, but at the same time they will have a charm, they will have a kind of a brilliance, wisdom, they will have a detachment with the world, but they'll not be like sannyasis, they'll not be monks, they'll not be on the streets out there. They'll have a very classy approach to life, which will not be all about money, glitter. The way they come across to you would be very interesting. I'm talking about people with activated and healed solar plexus energy. They will not do anything which is show-offy, but at the same time, they know how to put people in their place who do a lot of show-off. They're inspiring. People can get inspired by them. And the reason why I've dedicated this channel specially for this is because I sense it that this will be the time and age for people. These type of people will be on the rise. People who will work on the solar plexus, because they are very typical trait of them is they are a volunteer. They are big time contributor. They can be very rich, materialistically very sound, and they may not be. They would be coming from a very normal income group, very regular income they'll have, but they will be so rich in contribution. They'll have a smile on their face, they'll have a sense of solitude. They don't make many friends, they have very few friends, but whosoever they get friendly with, usually they're going to see the same thing in that person. They want to be friends with contributors, volunteers. They want to be around people who have really good energy, good company, because these are people who do selfless work. They don't waste their energy. They are not ironical that way, very careful of their energy. So if they spend time with someone, they know that this time is going into something really good. They cannot pretend. Of course, one part of them is one part of their life is gonna be that part where they were confused, they were troubled by supernatural concerns. Paranormal activities are also one reason why they go close to God, because going close to God makes them feel very protected, and they can handle those demons or those attacking energies really well, and they get help also from source. Many mediums are attracted to these people, or they always end up finding the right medium, the right teachers, the right healers. Not initially. Initially they will have a phase, they will go through a phase where they'll meet all kinds of people and probably waste time, money, energy and whatnot. But then they will be able to recognize. They'll be able to recognize, and when they are ready to contribute is when they are ready to surrender. They take time to surrender. In some cases they take time to surrender, but when they do, they figure out all the mind games, how it works, the nuances of the mind games, the example I gave you, those type of things, they understand, they figure it out, and then they surrender to the teacher. And for some people it happens early, for some people it doesn't happen that early. Some people are stubborn actually. I think in some cases they are so stubborn, they are just not letting go of the programming. And this inner work that I'm talking about, this also acts like a filtration process. Some of these people are also very good artists, and that's why this filtration process becomes interesting, because in the pursuit of art they can also become too materialistic and end up joining the evil forces, which happens a lot in the entertainment industry. So those who are under the grace of masters, they are very careful about this thing as well. That's why they attract very artistic people or very talented people, very gifted people. I think sometimes in some cases, even good businessmen and women are actually good artists, because business is also like an art. So they'll attract those people also. Anyway, I will continue about all of these subjects. I will continue about what all points need to be tapped into, or what areas change and shift when you do solar plexus activation and ascension work. You can get my book In the Name of Love, A Journey of Finding Your Ultimate Soulmate. This book happened with the help of divine and spiritual intervention. I think the first story, I always thought the first story of the book is the first story, but actually the first story was given to me by a person who had already crossed over. That was the first time when someone who had already died interacted with me and gave me the story, and it was very interesting for me. Even till date, I feel like, wow, that was an interesting conversation that happened. But it was happening because this book also had to happen, and then all the other things also had to happen. So I don't see that person as a ghost or something else. I think it was a crossed over soul which was probably getting affected by the loved ones, and this message also was given to me very strongly that when our people go away, we should let them go. We should let them go, but we don't understand this lesson. We grieve. We also need to grieve. So in the solar plexus activation, these paranormal or supernatural or divine interventions also happen. It's very common actually. There are also some health issues that are common, because those health issues are also connected with ascension. So yes, I will see you in the next one. One love, peace out, and victory to Ram.